After the apprentice, I was very nicely asked to go into schools and particularly working with young girls, because if you go into a classroom and say who are your role models, the two people who they normally pick out are Katie Price and Cheryl Cole, and the schools really want more women to go into schools, business role models, to really just raise aspirations, give them some motivation, sort of kick them at the backside. And I started going into schools. My family work in the education system. My mum was a teacher, my brother's a teacher, and I thought, I know the politics, I know the frustrations of the public sector. I thought this will just be a bit of fun. Went in, and the buzz I get from doing business, from seeing an idea come to fruition, is exactly what it's like working with young people. You've got all this raw talent, and actually seeing and watching it develop with even just one day in a school with them. I got that buzz, and I can remember getting in the car, leaving my first school, thinking, I've really enjoyed that. And I didn't want to enjoy it. And then I was bitten by the bug and started working. So my time spent in schools is really sort of three ways. One, I go in 2 or 3 days a week. I sometimes give assembly, I'll do motivational work, I do work with year 10, really focusing on what they're going to do after school, because I think a lot of young people have got no clue what to do after school. They don't know about joining the services, apprenticeships, CVs, interview forms. I think there's a very weak point in the government structure at the moment that they're not prepared at all. So I do, and I run business enterprise days, business masterclass, so that's 2 to 3 days a week. And then the last year when I've been going in, I constantly see problems with girls. And I think we read the headlines in the papers that teenage pregnancies are going up, ladette behaviour, bullying, anorexia, all the celeb culture, all these problems. And when you're talking to the teachers, you're like, well, what's happening with the girls? And they're like, we can't deal with them. They're dating 30-year-olds on Facebook. They've got serious attitude problems. She comes into school drunk. I'm like, okay, well, who's dealing with this? The Girl Guides is a great institution, but for most of the girls I'm dealing with, if you said to them, go to a Girl Guide class, they'd be like, see you later, I'm off to the park to go drink cider with my boyfriend. So I spotted a gap with another lady, and we formed a social enterprise working with girls 13 to 18, and we've called it Girls Out Loud. The name was chosen by focus groups with girls because, again, if you say to a group of girls who are just on the brink of maybe not going to school or falling into the NEET group, and the NEET group is neither in education, employment or training, as a headmaster, you do not want any of your students falling into that group. So these girls are on the brink of, serious attitude problems. If you said to them, well, you come on like an education workshop day, they wouldn't even turn up. So it was really important for us to get the right name. And we work with schools in different ways. We go in and do a one-day workshop with up to 80 girls, and it's a complete mixture of confidence building exercises, media stereotypes, aspirations, careers. It's quite a unique day. There isn't really anything like it out there. And the days which we have done, we've had teachers coming up to us saying, like, never mind the girls coming on this. I think, I need to bring me and my friends. It's been like a really incredible day. But then from those 80 girls, you might have 15 who you literally are like just touching the surface. We then do a 15-week, it's called Girls Out Loud Stardom Journey, where you have one-to-one mentoring, group exercises, a lot more focused. So they're the 2 products we've got at the moment. The third thing we want to do is when we're talking to the girls and they say, we've had this amazing day, or we've enjoyed the 15 weeks, but I don't speak to my mum. I think the teachers are all losers. I don't have anyone to speak to. They really want a mentor. And in America, the biggest mentoring scheme is called Big Brother, Big Sister, and it's very, very successful. And at the moment, we're gathering funding together to launch Big Sister in the UK. At the moment, we're going through the funding loops. Anybody who's setting up a social enterprise or works in the charity sector will know the trail of paperwork. Literally, the application forms like this for all the different pots of money. There are budget cuts happening in the UK, but work with young people, you can access European funding, but it's knowing the pots, it's knowing the loops. And we're hoping to do our trial of Big Sister by Christmas this year. We've accessed some funding, and it's all the wheels are in motion. So hopefully we'll be doing a pilot in the Northwest for 200 girls and 200 people to mentor. And then we'll have our learning curve, get it right, and then launch nationally.
Do you think it's important to foster that spirit of entrepreneurship in young people?
I think for the country, from a social moral point of view, it's absolutely critical that young people are really encouraged to have this enterprising, entrepreneurial attitude. And I think there's a big problem in schools with the culture clash between lots of teachers think to be enterprising you've got to start a business. You can be enterprising in any job you do. It's about skills like being good with people, being proactive, thinking outside the box. And from a selfish point of view, the problems we have at the moment with young people, the highest number of young people unemployed, people can't get into university, graduates can't get jobs. We've got this mounting pool of young people who, one, are going to be claiming benefits. Where's that going to come from? But also, where is the economy going to grow from if these young people just stay stagnant? So I think there's two reasons why we should support it. One, because it's the right thing to do, but secondly, the country will not start moving again if young people are not developed.
How do you think business has changed since the recession? Do you think that change is a good thing?
I left The Apprentice in 2 years ago. From my point of view, I think I call our generation the boom spend economy. I left university in 2001. Times literally just flew. People were having big bonuses. Lifestyle was incredible. People were buying huge houses on mortgages times 6 times their salary. It wasn't sustainable. So the year I left The Apprentice, in the November 2008, I literally saw the media world crash with magazine deals where people used to be getting £30,000, maybe getting 5. So you saw an instant drop. I personally think it's been a good thing because it wasn't sustainable. There was a lot of businesses who were running on an overdraft, not managing their cash flow, not managing their staff, actually not delivering a business maybe which people wanted. I think customer service has become a lot better as well, because from an employee's point of view, customer service, it costs you nothing because you're already paying for your staff. I think people are becoming more and more demanding as consumers, so we're getting better deals. But I think business has gone back to basics, and I think anyone who says, now isn't the right time to start a business, I completely disagree. I think it's like The Apprentice. Somebody gets fired, you're one step up the ladder, you see an opportunity going down. Could you take it and do it bigger and better and learn from their mistake?
So where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years' time, I'll be 36. I'm hoping that I'll be sat reading the Daily Telegraph, reading an article about Girls Out Loud, that we've reached over 1 million girls in the country. I'd love to have a Girls Out Loud magazine. I probably will have created and sold another business, and I'm maybe living abroad.